Airsofters, how you doing? I'm USJTF 6. Send me a cup of coffee. About to go play a good Airsoft game today with the team, and things are going to be great. Today, I got some pretty interesting questions in my inbox. I just want to address them because I pretty much get the same line of questions every time. The question was, how do I make an effective Airsoft game? And they're talking about things like, hey, how do I plan it out? You know, what are some of the safety requirements I should have? How do I organize the event? Etc., etc. So one of the things I'd like to do today is kind of outline that and you know, make it as clear as possible so we can possibly in our communities have better games. The first thing we need to do is we need to think about safety when we play these games. In Airsoft, safety is paramount and it's extremely important. The one thing that we see time and time again with Airsoft is we see the factors of people playing in unsafe playing fields. Alright? You have to play in a controlled environment. You cannot play in a non-controlled environment. And what do I mean by a non-controlled environment? Guys, playing in your backyard in the middle of a city is a no-go. Playing in unauthorized areas where nobody knows you're there is a no-go. Alright? There's plenty of places you can play. Paintball fields. Alright? You can set up things with the organizers at the paintball fields. Talk to your family and friends. Get areas outside the city limits that are more rural. Alright? It'll give you some freedom and flexibility. Now, if you do take that second course of option, and one thing you really need to think about is you need to get some kind of written documentation from that family member stating that you are allowed to play at that area. The second thing you need to do is go down to the local police department and let them know your activities at that location. That way, if you have any passerbyers or anything like that, they will know what is going on at the location if somebody tries to give them a call and says something's going on out there, right? That's one thing you need to think about and be safe. So let's go into the second aspect, safety. Alright, as a field organizer, you are overall responsible for the safety and operation of that event. Alright, you need to ensure that your people that go to your event are wearing the proper protective equipment. Full ceiling eyewear is a must. And I know a lot of guys, you guys say, hey look, I don't like goggles. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't like goggles either. But I got a pair of those Oakleys type glasses with the foam liner on the outside, which gives me that protection on the sides and gives me the full seal. It's the best of both worlds. The other thing you need to think about is having some kind of regulatory standard for the players that come out there. Hey look, safety deems you wear gloves, you wear some kind of full uniform, you wear boots or some kind of full length footwear, and you wear some kind of headgear. Alright? Airsoft is a dangerous sport when we're talking about close ranges. And to mitigate the safety factors, you need to wear the proper protective equipment for those ranges. So that's one thing you need to put out. Third, with safety, you need to do some kind of safety briefing. Now, I've been to games all over the country, and I've heard it from one spectrum and I've heard it from another. One spectrum being, hey guys, you know what to do. Don't shoot anybody close, have a good time, to the full-blown safety briefing that outlines everything. Is there one better than the other? No, but is there a standard? You bet. Somewhere in the middle. Alright, you at least want to outline the FPS. You want to outline the personal protective equipment that's required on the field. You want people to show you, as the field organizer, always set up a table. People come by, they show me their eyewear, they show me their dead rag, they show me their water system, because you need water, right? You don't want anybody dehydrating on your field and then you have a heat casualty. They show me all their protective equipment and everything that's required to play the game at the field. We also have the chronograph set up at that table. So it's all one-stop shopping when they come in, and we give them an armband or whatever else you want to give them to make sure the check has been complete. The other thing you need to think about when you host a big game is, now we've covered the safety portions of that event, is the setup and facilitation of that game. Alright, there's plenty of forum boards, websites, and all kinds of stuff out there. Ensure you arm the players with the proper information for the game. The who, what, where, when, why, and how. Alright, good directions to the game, what the cost is going to be, the best thing to do is also have somebody assigned to that to kind of track the game and see exactly who's coming, who's not, and is there to facilitate or answer any questions that you might have for the game as well. So that's one thing. So we've gone over the safety, we've gone over the implementation and facilitation. Now we get to the game itself. How do we mitigate factors of gameplay in the game that could cause distractions? Well, a lot of guys do not agree with this. I know I'm going to probably take some flack from it in the comments. But you need to have some kind of admin staff on the field, and we call them orange vesters. Guys that wear orange vests and do not participate in the events that delineate any arguments or non-hit calling issues that happen on the field. They are the on-the-spot game marshals for that game. Whatever that person says, goes. It's really good to get things going that way because you run into issues all the time out in the field, and it makes things smooth and flexible. Also, assigning radio frequencies to each team is a good deal because these field admins can monitor, or they can have their own admin net where somebody can call them if they have any questions, comments, or concerns. The other thing you need to think about when you're hosting a big game is you need to look at kind of the scenario that you're running. Alright? The more complex the scenario, the more people it's going to take to run that game, whether it be admin staff, or it be role players, or it be time allotted for the event. That's some things you need to think about. There's all kinds of games. You know, there's skirmishes that happen on the weekends at location with 20 or 30 people, and then there's things like Oklahoma Invasion, which is hundreds and hundreds of people that participate in large-scale operations. That's one thing you need to think about. If you're going to do a small-time skirmish, you're going to probably have to give yourself about a month or two to go ahead and plan that out, and you need to post it up a month in advance. For large-scale operations, from what we've seen, we've actually run a couple, you need to plan about 6 months out, and you need to go ahead and put the information out for the event about 4 months in advance. It gives everybody enough time to get in there, get going, and getting things going together. The one thing that I always see that always goes wrong with games is the lack of planning. You really have to get into the weeds, and you need to think about how the game is going to run with the scenario that you provide. That's one thing that you need to do and you need to think about. It has to be done in order to have a successful game. The other thing is, you know, after game activities, it's really good to have those kind of things. You know, it's better to do it that way because when you do a game and everybody's done, what are they doing? They're packing their stuff up in their cars and they're heading home. You know, have an overall winner, announce the overall winner, and then have some kind of raffle or a contest or something to kind of pique the interest after the game, keep people together, keep people talking and stuff like that. That's a really good deal as well. Now, the other thing that we really need to think about is, you know, the after game effects. You know, post the AAR comment block on the forums that you posted up to advertise the game. See the feelings, concerns, or comments that people have with the game. And then next time when you run your operation or event, you can kind of get things going on the fly from there. The other things we need to really think about is the overall responsibility of the event and the legal aspect. It's very good to go ahead and make a hold and harmless release waiver to sign at that event for each individual member. For one, that doesn't alleviate you of any legal responsibility, but at times it might save you from actually getting sued for something that you have no control over. So that's just one thing to think about. And that also comes into the next portion. We talk about the risk management. Alright? And that also falls in with the safety briefing. You know, anything that has a possible risk out on that field, you need to analyze and try to mitigate the risks with some preventive steps in order to facilitate that risk from not happening. Alright, so that's a couple of different things. So, we've kind of gone over it. So 1, pick a legit field. 2, advertise. 3, risk management, safety implementation of rules, and chronograph. 4, admin staff at the game. Alright, they're a must. And the more people you have, The more admin staff you need, probably about a 10-to-1 ratio is probably what you're looking for. 5, after game activities. You're going to have a raffle, you're going to have some kind of things going on and all that stuff. That's one thing to think about. 6, scenario development. Just like I stated earlier, that's one of the things that you really want to work on. And 7, after action review of your event. Try to get the feelings and the feedback of the event that people have attended. So, well, we got some good stuff coming up. I got some interactive videos, tactics videos that is, and we got some recruiting videos for the USJTF coming up. So stay tuned on our channel. Until then, we'll see you next time. Best of luck in your airsoft endeavors. Take care.
Roger, 3-2. Goliath copies all. Go ahead.